Every now and then someone will ask me, hey, Dr. Donna, what else is in your toolbox that you use when you are talking to clients? And I'm going to give you some things that you can use right now because I'm going to tell you 5 movies that I have used as a therapeutic tool in therapy. But first, you know what we got to do, the intro. And welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Donna with me, Dr. Donna. And today we are in a completely different room. Like if you have been watching these other videos, then you know I am not where I usually am. And that is because I thought that since we're talking about movies, I should be in the room with the movie posters. So, you got your Get Out, your Devil with the Blue Dress, and the movie that never was, but now is, but it's called Doom. Well, this is still Doom, but this is a whole different vision. Anyway, whole point is this. We are about to talk about 5 movies that I have used as a therapeutic tool in the therapy room. Now, part of the reason that we're having this conversation is because sometimes people need a little something extra. And your standard, how do you think about that? Or how do you feel? Yeah. Like that little like therapist whisper that we sometimes see on TV. Sometimes it'd be like that, but not in my therapy room. It won't. So I wanted to give you these 5 movies that I have found have been helpful for some of my clients to sort of get into a different frame of mind. And I'm going to tell you not only the movie that we used as a tool, but also why I used it as a tool. And maybe if you've seen any of these movies, you know what I like. Put it in the comments below and let me know exactly how you feel about some of these movies and whether or not they have maybe been helpful for you, or if you could go back and rewatch if it would be helpful for you. Credentials. I'm Dr. Donna Oriowo, sex and relationship therapist in Washington, D.C. metro area. I am a therapist who likes to say I help Black women feel free, fabulous, and effed. And I am the author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black women's guide to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. Let's go ahead and get into these movies right quick. Number 1. Oh, mind you, these movies are in no particular order because what I don't want to see is people coming for me in the comments. Okay, cool. So number 1, Elvis. The Elvis with, what's his face? Wilson. You know what I'm talking about. Tom Hanks. The Elvis with Tom. I don't know if there is another Elvis movie, but I thought it'd be best if I was clear. So the movie with Tom Hanks, I have used that particular Elvis. Now, here's the thing. I don't own that movie. I saw it one time and I was just like, yo, that thing sticks out. And here's why I have recommended it. I recommend it as a stay true to yourself sort of movie. Like when when your gut, when your body, when the things around, when you know what something is telling you, when you can feel that something is wrong and you find the right community to confirm what it is that you already know, then you are in a space where you can make anything happen. But when you have one malignancy that you hold on to with both hands, not only can they lead you astray, it can cost you your life. Now, in that movie, my personal opinion, I felt like it cost Elvis his life. But in your case, you may not perish from whatever is to come, but rather it may cost you the life that you wish you had. And it's up to you to determine whether or not the cost of the life that you want, whether or not it's okay for you to sort of miss out in that way because you're trying to please other people or because someone else has sort of gotten their hooks in you and got you hooked into their way of thinking and being and sort of they're refashioning your footsteps. Number 2, this one I mentioned in my book, Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. And that is Penelope, the one with the little pig-faced girl. Her, that movie. That movie is like one of the best representations of how we know that self-esteem is not self-taught. It is a great representation of what it means to sometimes build the tribe before you feel it. and it is a beautiful example of what self-love, what esteeming yourself can actually get you. So if you have not watched that movie, I guess spoiler alert. I mean, but seriously, when did that movie come out? Like, it's got to be very old by now. Anyway, in this movie, homegirl was born with a little pig nose, little pig ears, maybe a little pig tail. Who do I know? What do I know? And she cute or whatever, even with the little pig nose, right? Like, she cute. But the curse is basically until one of your own accepts you, that you will remain, a half a pig or a quarter pig. I mean, whatever. I picked the room. Anyway, she will remain as such. And it is after one of her own accept her that she will look like regular people with regular nose and just be mundane like everybody else. The problem is they took it to mean that if she can't get a lover, a partner, which is what a lot of y'all outside be doing. You're thinking that your self-esteem, your real life, your whatever is on the other side of a romantic partnership, as opposed to considering that the life that you want is one that you're actually going to have to work to build for yourself. And sometimes not by yourself, though, because she didn't build it by herself either, right? Like, she left her home, ran away, and she met people, and she made friends, and they got to know her, and they got to like her, and she created a community and then she felt more comfortable showing a little bit more of herself with those people. And then later, she esteemed herself. Later, not before. Sometimes we borrow from the people around us, right? And that is why I say self-esteem is not self-taught, right? Because she already wasn't taught how to like herself from her mother in particular, and low-key her father, who often gets off scot-free, like he didn't have a very hefty role in allowing his wife to treat their kid the way that he did, right? But then, she goes outside, she makes these friends, they like her, she likes them, they are, she's creating this community. And I think maybe at first they served as validation that she is indeed the shit. Like, they served as validation, and then she liked herself, and they served as confirmation because she could validate herself. So that is part of the reason why I tell people to go watch Penelope, and why you should go watch it too, and go pick up a copy of my book. Stop playing. The third one, and this is a very old movie. So again, look, I'm not spoiling nothing. I can't spoil nothing that is as old as everything is on this list. If you've been spoiled, that's your problem. Number 3, What Dreams May Come. And this one is an oldie. It stars Robin Williams. In this movie, basically him and his wife have 2 kids who die in a car accident, and the wife goes to the dog place, right? Like, she can't seem to come up out of it. She's very depressed, doesn't know what to do with herself, which makes sense. I mean, you just lost you, whatever. Okay, so after that, he's just like, yo, I'm gonna go because clearly my presence isn't doing anything, and I love you, and you take care of yourself, okay? And she's just like, wait, no. And so she decides to go on in life with her husband and miss her babies, of course, but to still continue to live. She chooses to continue to live. However, he dies in a car accident, and he wakes up and his heaven is in her painting. And he learns later that she died by a I feel like there are things that you're allowed to say online and things that you're not allowed to say. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this. By She decided that she was no longer going to be preserved in her own life, and so she decided to throw it out. Did you pick it up? You picked it up? Okay, cool. So she made that decision, and in so doing ends up in like a purgatory or a hell. Well, purgatory probably more like, not really hell. And he goes to get her, but she can't come out this time. Like what he did before, like, yeah, come be with me, come be with us, not working. So instead, he chooses to join with her. And that's the thing that helped her. That sometimes we are trying to make somebody come out of where they are so that they can be where we are, when what they need for us to do is to join them. That is one of the reasons that I recommend What Dreams May Come. It's one thing for me to say it, it's something else for it to be demonstrated by you watching the way that it plays out in the movie. Another movie that I recommend is Encanto, Family Madrigal. Oh, I'm going to try and make sure I don't make a habit of singing because I have been blessed with many talents and singing is not really one. So, why Encanto? This one is, let me see. Oh, so this one is to demonstrate multiple things that one unhealthy person in your family structure can make it so that an entire family structure is unhealthy. Sometimes we think, oh, well, I'm the only one that's healthy in this family structure. I'm just like, no, you are also a problem. But it has been adaptive for the space that you are in, right? Like, Maribel wanting to, or yeah, that's her name, right? I'm not making it up because I'm over here thinking Marisol too. Maribel. I'm gonna go with Maribel. So one of the things from her, like from that one, is like we know that grandma has a trauma that passed to her kids, that passed to the grandkids, and everybody plays a role in helping to maintain the structure that has been built by grandma. And while I recognize that everybody has that grandma slander, I'm looking like some of y'all are the grandma in your family. I said it. I don't take it back. Some of y'all are her, but it's very easy for you to point it out to somebody else, but not look at yourself. Side eye, serial side eye. Meanwhile, um, everybody had a touch of something wrong with them because of that. And how difficult it can be trying to learn yourself, to like yourself, to heal yourself, and stay in a structure that remains the same. It is almost impossible to do. Sometimes you have to remove yourself from the structure or else minimize how much time you're spending in a structure so that you can continue to grow. Because the thing is, and I talked about triangulation, I want to say in yesterday's video, but if you're changing, it requires the people that are in the structure with you to change. And if they're not ready or they're unwilling to change with you, then they're going to try to triangulate you back into position because y'all are like a little equilateral triangle. And as you try to bring yourself down, you change the shape of the triangle. You may change it to an isosceles or something else, which requires them to also change their behavior. And if they're unready, if they're unprepared, they're going to try to move you back to where you were. And the fifth movie that I have recommended is Megamind. I, like sometimes I'm quite surprised with the way that my own mind works to get me to jump to the conclusion that somebody needs to go watch Megamind. But I used it as a way to have a conversation with a client about the difference between did you finish or did you quit? Those things are not the same. Because quitting is that thing that like you could quit something and it's mostly like you're leaving the thing on the table even though you still want it, even though you still feel responsible for it, even though it's still a desire, but sometimes we're scared about what it means and all this other stuff and whether or not we're going to get it, so we stop early. So that's why I asked, did you finish or did you quit? And specifically, we're not actually looking at the character of Megamind. We're looking at oh gosh, we're in Atrocity. What is his name? The good guy. We're looking at him, right? But the second reason I had some clients watch this movie is because it's talking about scripts and the scripts that we are handed from the time we are yay high to a fly, and how often we will play out the scripts as though it is our identity as opposed to the identity assigned to us. Was Megamind a bad boy, or was he was he cast as the bad boy in someone else's story? And I would say it's low key the same thing like with The Grinch, which I have also recommended someone watch. Because I'm like, well, if people treat you like the villain, sometimes you start to behave like one. That doesn't mean that you should or that you shouldn't. I'm not even placing any of that stuff on you. What I'm saying though is that people sometimes will have an expectation of your behavior and they require you to act it out because that's all that they know how to expect from you. Anyway, the whole point is that this girl likes to use movies as a way to help clients to dig further deeper into the salient points that I want them to get in the therapeutic setting. So those 5 movies again were Elvis, Penelope, What Dreams May Come, Encanto, and Megamind, which I'm sure are available on somebody's streaming service somewhere. So you go ahead and you pick up your Netflix if you got it, your Hulu, your whatever, your Disney Plus. I don't even know the name of all of these streaming service. Don't forget your Peacock. I mean Peacock. I certainly is showing my ass these days in these videos. Anyway, that is our thing for today. And I want to know from you, what are some videos or some movies that you have watched that you felt had a therapeutic edge or that really resonated with something that your therapist or a therapist friend may have said to you that you sort of sat in and you was like, oh snap, they talking to me. Kind of like that message on a good Sunday morning. Um, anyway, this has been your daily dialogue with me, Dr. Donna, and I hope to see you tomorrow for more of the Daily Donna. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm sure it's going to be good.